It's so nice to have new life on the farm. In my previous video, I shared with you the new chicks that we recently got from Murray McMurray Hatchery. Half of the chicks that we got are black Ocelots and the other half are red star. Both are known to be good egg layers. And also in the video prior to this one, I shared with you how I set up and we prepared for these chicks as they arrived. I also must admit, a couple of the commenters mentioned that I had a number of slips of the tongue and times that I misspoke in the last video. Like I said chicken instead of chicken, and I said maneuver instead of maneuver. Oh, messed up again. I said maneuver instead of manure. Then we'll take the pine shavings mixed with the maneuver and with the maneuver and with the maneuver. So sorry about that. So hopefully there won't be any trickings or maneuvers in this video. Well, back to the chicks. Regretfully, we did have one that died on the day that we got the chicks, and then we have another one that hasn't been doing well, and Selah has been trying to care for it with Lacie and trying to get it up on its feet and nurse it to health. So we'll just have to see what happens with that chick. So how's it doing?
I think it's still to be determined.
Drinking water there?
Yeah, it's drinking water.
No, we have to stay in the square.
What was it doing before, Selah?
It was laying down and all the other woods are trampling it.
I don't know. I saved it and helping out. So we can try to mend it. Care for it?
3, 2.
But that is not uncommon to happen when you hatch your own chicks, nor when you purchase new ones from a hatchery. There's a certain percentage, it's not high, that you will lose a couple of them. It's just how life goes. So overall, I'm really happy about the chicks that we got from Murray McMurray, and all the other ones are doing fantastic. They're jumping around and running all over the place, and just it's so neat to see them expressing life. And for those of you who are looking to get chicks for your farm and maybe pre-order for the spring, you can go to Murray McMurray and you can order your 2020 catalog, which is about to come out, or you can look out some of their other ones. It's just, the catalog is really colorful, and it's really nice to see all the different varieties of birds that they have with really nice pictures to go along with them. And I'm so happy that the chicks are doing well right now. But even though they're doing well, we still have a lot of work cut out for us and a lot of challenges to overcome as we get them to be mature, producing eggs for us. We got them in the fall. I got them in the fall because I want to have them producing eggs for us in the late spring, summertime. So I'm thinking from now, raising them, and it's usually about 6 months it takes from raising them from a chick to being able to be an egg producer for us. So if I were to wait in the spring, you get the chicks around April, May, then it wouldn't be until around now, October or November, when they start producing eggs, and then you wouldn't get many eggs for the winter. So I want to do it now so that way we can have them producing eggs for us during the spring, the summer, and the fall of next year. And we've done it in the past where we started we raised chicks and started them in late September and early October, but this is just a little bit later than normal. So we have our challenges cut out for us. And speaking of challenges, we have a frost that is coming, our first freeze of the year. So we got a lot of work cut out for us. We've done a number of things around here to start getting things ready, both for the chicks and in the garden, to prepare for this freeze. Right now we don't have a ton of things growing in the garden. We actually are scaling back a little bit this year for the fall and winter, just because we have a number of other projects that we want to work on and focus on during this time. However, we still have a 50-foot bed of kale, a couple 50-foot beds of arugula, as well as Swiss chard, and a 50-foot bed of bok choy, and a couple of beds of lettuce. And with the freeze coming up, a number of them can survive a light freeze. However, things like lettuce is really important to cover them up so that way they don't brown and the frost doesn't burn them, and that way you can maintain good quality on your lettuce. So I definitely want to make sure that we got these covered. So the first thing I do when I'm covering our crops is to bring out, we use masonry wire for our hoops. You can use a number of other things such as PVC pipe or whatever, but we like to use the masonry wire, and we also have it as a resource here on our farm. And as I'm setting those up, I push them in the ground and space them about 5 feet apart. I go down and press one side in and then come back around and push the other side in. Then after that, I bring out our plastic for the covering. And after the plastic is on the hoops, go and get our sandbags and line up sandbags along the sides of the hoops for the row cover. And another thing that we did over the past couple days in preparation for this first frost is it was time to just go ahead and pull out all the tomato plants that we had here in this caterpillar tunnel. And Selah's the primary one that has been harvesting and caring for them, so I wanted to see how she felt about the tomatoes coming out. How does it feel knowing that this is going to be the last time that you have to harvest tomatoes this year? Because you've been harvesting a lot of tomatoes and you spent a lot of time in this caterpillar tunnel getting tomatoes for me. It looks like you got some really nice ones right there, green tomatoes.
Yep.
But how does it feel knowing this is going to be the last time?
Good. Because I know that that it's over and I don't have to come out in the heat anymore and do it.
I know what you mean. It kind of feels good and kind of sad at the same time, doesn't it?
Yep.
And for this project, the whole team was involved. Lacie and Selah were harvesting both the red and green tomatoes. And if you want to know how we use the green tomatoes, let us know in the comment section below. Maybe we can do a video on ways you can use your green tomatoes outside of just fried green tomatoes. And as the ladies were harvesting the tomatoes, I was pulling out the plants and having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to unhook them for the tomahawks. I really like the tomahawks, by the way. They did an excellent job. But it was a learning lesson, trying to figure out how to disassemble them and bring them down. And as I was pulling out the tomato plants, the vines, Josiah and Micah were loading them up into the gorilla cart, and they would take them and dump them where we're gonna break them down and reuse them. And finally we were done. The cat tunnel was clear and free from the tomatoes that we pulled out and cleaned up. And I'm thinking of bringing the chicks in here later on and letting them just come in here and eat up the grass and just kind of add some nice manure to it. Not maneuver. with the maneuver to it. So we'll just have to see how that goes later on. And then after the cat tunnel, we secured the greenhouse. And we needed to secure it because we had some storms in the summertime that had just destroyed both of the doors on our greenhouse. We had them open when the storms came through, which was a mistake. And then the storms just practically destroyed one door completely, and the other one just ripped it off. So on one end, since there was so much work to put a new door up, I just went ahead and stapled plastic on that end, and then on the other hand we just fixed the door up and secured it, had it ready to go. And we had some pepper plants that I had been keeping in our grow room to stay warm, so we moved those pepper plants, which I didn't know until last year that pepper plants are perennials and they can actually produce even more in the second year. So we're going to try it again this year. We're trying to extend our pepper plants by overwintering them, so we'll just have to see how it goes. And after all that, we were finally ready for our first frost. At least I thought we were, hoping we were. And that night came, went to sleep, and about 2-3 a.m. woke up and just kept thinking about the chicks. So I headed outside to check on them, just to make sure that they were doing fine, that they weren't cold, and everybody was alive and well. Alrighty. I am really not wanting to be outside right now. It's pretty cold, and it's gotten to be a lot colder than it typically gets at this time, making the dogs a little bit nervous. Like, what's he doing outside? Who is that? But really need to go check on the chicks with the cold temps. Alrighty, so providing them with just extra stuff here to keep them protected here inside the brooder. Just try to make sure that they're not too huddled up. Feels pretty warm in here. Actually, I want to be in here. And I can tell that they're pretty warm because they're not huddled by the light here. Looks like they are happy and warm. So the food looks good. Water looks good. So after I checked on them, went back to sleep, woke up somewhere around 6:30. Then somewhere around sunrise, I was like, I gotta go check on them again, because usually the coldest part of the evening is around 6:30, 7 o'clock, right before sunrise. And I went outside, checked on them again. So waking up this morning, it's definitely cold outside, and we've had our first major frost, and everything in this bed right here, Lacie, looks like, well, maybe not that, but everything else looks like it's done. Mentioned before, it's kind of like bittersweet, but it does have that sadness to it, knowing that a number of these things are no more for this year. But to start anew, it's part of the seasons of the year and symbolic of seasons of life, to be honest with you. So next, it's time to check on the little ones, the chicks. Not totally bunched up. They look fine. Water's fine. Definitely want to keep it closed. I don't want any air to come gushing in. That was enough with me opening it up. I'll come back later on once it warms up today. We'll give them some new bedding. Add some more feed to their feeder. Should be good to go. And for now, I'm gonna go inside where it's warm. Can't hop in there with them. I guess I could, but I'm gonna go in where it's comfortable. So I'm so happy that the chicks survived their first frost, first freeze, and the temperature got to be around 28 degrees. So I'm really happy that everyone is doing well, staying warm. And for chicks in their first week, you want to keep the temperature around 90 degrees in their brooder, at least in the area where they can congregate and stay. So I was noticing that they weren't huddled around the light or huddled on top of each other, that they were still moving around and doing well. So that is a sign that they are staying warm and are happy and comfortable. So hopefully they continue to stay. We have a couple more nights coming up where temps will get around the same low. So hopefully we can keep them warm and they stay warm. So make sure you stay tuned for that to see how they continue to progress. Also, we have some ducklings coming. Ducklings tend to be a little hardier with the colder temperatures than chicks do, so we look forward to integrating them with the chicks here pretty soon. So and speaking of temps, if you're looking for a nice sweatshirt to have, I really like this one, and you can order it in our Teespring thing below, so make sure you check that out. You can order it for yourself or for a gift or a friend or family member. Well, that's it for now. Got to get back to work on the farm and continuing to keep us all warm, comfortable, healthy, and happy. Well, that's it for now. Make sure you stay tuned for more adventures and chronicles with our chicks. That's it for now. Stay strong and grow on.